My mom, shortly after that, got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. My dad shortly after that, got diagnosed with kidney disease. I found myself on the phone with insurance companies. It was debilitating. It was emotionally crushing.
We care because we've been there.
No one's planning for that.
It's not how the system's built. The system itself leaves you behind.
Hi, welcome to our Journey series. I am here today with Michael Walsh, CEO of Cariloop, and we're super excited to have you in the office today and to talk to you a little bit about the partnership we've created. Want to give you a little background first. My name is John Blumenthal, for those of you who haven't seen or joined one of our series. My name is John Blumenthal. I'm co-CEO of Quotient Wealth Partners. Quotient Wealth Partners is a full-service independent retirement financial planning firm. So the types of folks we work with generally are corporate employees, business owners, successful individuals who are looking to, take this retirement savings, take all this work they've done, and transition into that next phase of their life. And what we've tried to do here at Quotient is build a one-stop shop, right? So not only are we here to help clients with managing their investments, but we have a fully integrated tax team in-house. We have an estate planning team in-house. We have a family office for our more wealthier clients to deal with more sophisticated issues. We've recently, not only do we do the typical asset management and retirement planning, but we've recently delved into a couple other areas where we really feel like our clients need support. One is healthcare advocacy, and we're going to have another series on that coming where we're going to talk about what we've done in healthcare advocacy, and then caregiver support, which is what we're here to talk about today with Michael, how we're providing support to our clients. And what I found is that, as a financial advisor, I meet with, Michael, thousands and thousands and thousands of families, right?
Yeah.
I'm meeting with people all the time. And when we do their financial plans, we always ask, one of the staple questions we ask is, do you have an aging parent? Do you have, are there things that you're worried about that we're going to need to cover financially that we need to build into the plan? And, some families have something already and they tell us what it is. Others most say, no, not yet, but I think we need to plan for it, right?
Yep.
So how do we plan for it? We put an arbitrary number in. If a client wants to be more conservative, then we go bigger. If they want to be more aggressive, then we go shorter, smaller. But we put some sort of arbitrary number in that say, okay, what if we allocated $3,000 a month for caregiving support, right?
Yep.
And then we check the box and we go on to the next question and we start talking about their vision. We start talking about what their plans are and their travel and all the things they save this money for. But we never talk about who's going to take care of me? What happens? And inevitably, not inevitably, I don't want to say inevitably, but
it's pretty close to inevitably, yeah.
You make all these plans and we work with these folks and they're prepared, right? They've saved in their retirement. They know their equity comp plans. They've done all the work and we're about to transition into retirement. And then what happens? A parent has a stroke or a spouse gets diagnosed with some sort of debilitating disease, right?
Yeah.
Or a child
is diagnosed with autism.
Exactly.
Right? It's all across the family.
Exactly. And money only could do three things for us, right? And I tell clients this all the time. It can help you feel safe and secure. It can help facilitate doing things that make you happy. And it can help you take care of the people you love.
Right.
That's it. And taking care of the people we love always goes to the top of the list when there's an issue. And I've seen people's whole lives change because their caregiving journey came through a wrench in their plans. So, real quickly, I just want to share my story because it's really one of the things that led us to reaching out to you and forming this partnership. So my parents turned 75 and had their 50th wedding anniversary in the same year, basically in the same month. So it was just, we had this huge celebration. They're both turning 75, they're both turning 50. They've been married for 50 years. So we took them on this big trip to Jamaica. My dad played golf every day. My mom was playing pickleball. She was parasailing. They were living the dream, right? They saved for retirement. They weren't wealthy, but they saved. They made all the right choices. They did all the right things, and they were just enjoying the travel and being grandparents, right? Yeah. It worked. I do this for a living, and I had them set up, and we had a plan, and it worked. So that's when they turned 75. They were both dead at 78. Right? My mom, shortly after that, got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. My dad shortly after that, got diagnosed with kidney disease. And it happened very quickly. And suddenly I found myself on the phone with insurance companies, right? Trying to figure out what the care was, what I do.
And you're in this business, right?
Yeah, I had no idea what to do. And then I'm on the phone with Care Now, and I get 1,000 resumes. I don't know how to decipher through these resumes. You know, I'm getting resumes for babysitters. Like I had no idea what to do. It was debilitating.
Yeah.
And it was emotionally crushing. And we see this story over and over again with our clients and our employees. And ultimately we came together and we decided this is a huge void. No one's talking about who's planning for who's going to do it. No one's planning for that.
It's not how the system's built. Like, I mean, the system itself is built to like really think about your parents in this situation. And that's not wrong. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But the system itself, I won't say it ignores, but it leaves out any consideration for you and your siblings and the rest of your extended family in this journey. Like it just doesn't recognize you.
Exactly. So
leaves you behind.
Exactly. And it just, I mean, I've seen people retire early because of this. Like they've changed their whole vision. They worked their whole life for a vision, and then it completely changes because of some sort of healthcare issue. So we really set out to solve this, and we wanted to provide that support to our clients. You know, we view ourselves as a financial life management firm, and we want to, if there's something that we could do to help clients, we want to do it. And we started looking at a number of different caregiving companies, you being one of them. And ultimately, what drove us to decide to work with Cariloop was that you guys shared one specific value that we have, which is at the end of the day, you guys cared. You know, it was a financial transaction. It was very business when I was talking to these other firms. The conversations with you were more personal. You guys cared, and we care. You know, we have no idea what's going to happen in this world, right? But we want our clients to know that we care. And, I'm glad you're sitting here today with us. I negotiated with this poor guy on this deal like I was working at Wendy's and buying my first car. I put him through hell.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
But we're here, and really what I'd like to do is we really just real quickly share your story. You've got a great story. It resonates with me because it's similar to mine. And what drove you to start Cariloop, and what's your mission for the firm?
Yeah, so maybe just by way of quick introduction, really excited to be here, first of all, for the Journey series and the Journey series, excuse me. And my name is Michael Walsh. I'm Cariloop's co-founder and chief executive officer. I'm based right here in Dallas. I'm originally from the Chicagoland area. I'm the oldest of 5. I've got 4 sisters. And the part of my story that so like lines right up with yours, different life stage I was in when it happened for me though, was that when I graduated from college in 2007, went to Purdue, studied business and finance, like thought I wanted to go into investment banking and like management consulting and go work on Wall Street one day. Started my career in Chicago working for a big global risk and management consulting firm, like my dream job. And in 2008, right as the financial crisis was getting underway, something really important happened that totally changed my life. And it didn't even happen to me. It was kind of like I'm listening to your story with your parents thinking, like what this must have done for you and your family, like those 3 years you went through, how it changed your life.
It was brutal. I mean, it took over our lives. It became our lives.
I watched that happen for my family. My grandpa in Michigan had a serious health event, and I want to say it was mid-2008. And my mom, who was a full-time stay-at-home mom, still caring for my 3 sisters who are 9, 10, and 11 years younger than I am. Like they're still at home in grade school and in high school. This happens for my grandpa. Like my grandpa and my grandma live up in Michigan alone. They live in a small lake house in this small lake community out in sort of rural Michigan. So there's no real good healthcare nearby. So for the better part of a couple of years now, my mom has to be back and forth to help my grandparents. My dad's working full time for our family business. I'm supposed to be working 80 hours a week for my consulting firm just to keep my job. And this was my introduction to like what you went through for those couple of years. It was 2 years for me watching this and trying to keep all of these plates spinning. I'm 23, man. I'm starting my career. I'm supposed to be like living the good life in the city of Chicago. And I am spending all of my spare time going back and forth to the suburbs to be there for my family. And I stopped. I was a 3-sport athlete in school. I stopped going to the gym. I stopped working out. I was eating fast food like every day. I gained 30 pounds. I probably went through a period of like mild depression, undiagnosed, like because I was just so freaked out and scared for what I was watching my family go through. It was really inspiring for me and my co-founder, who we've been best buddies since we were kids, he had just gone through the same thing with his family and cancer. It was really inspiring to sort of watch all this and think to ourselves, there's got to be a better way to do this.
Yeah.
And so a couple of punk 23, 24-year-olds said, we're going to build something to try and help people. And you said a little bit ago kind of what it felt like working with us versus maybe talking to some others. It's personal to me. It's personal to us. Like we all went through this. Like, yes, we care because we've been there. So that was 17 years ago now that when we first started conceptualizing the idea of Cariloop. And I'm so proud of the work we get to get up and do every day. And I'm so excited to be partnering with you guys and helping your clients and their families.
Yeah, it's really, we've been at this for 6 months with you guys, and it's amazing. Our first success story happened before we even signed the contract.
Yeah, I remember.
So I called Michael and his team, and I said, I know we're getting this contract finalized. I have this client. Her husband has Parkinson's, and I don't know where they're at, but I feel like they need some help. I'm watching this client of mine take care of her husband as a full-time job. I mean, no help. I mean, I watched this poor woman age, amazing woman, amazing client, accomplished businesswoman. And I just called and I said, guys, can we onboard her? I know that we're not there yet, but can we onboard her? And your team was like, absolutely. They jumped.
No question.
They jumped right into action. And it's amazing. I don't know how these things happen the way they do, but this was on like a Thursday. And I honest to God, Saturday morning, that following Saturday, I get a call from this client. I'm laying in bed, and I get a call from her on my cell phone, and she says, John, I'm in the hospital. I'm having emergency cancer surgery. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm telling you because I don't know what, I don't even know if I'm going to get out of here. You got to, my family knows. I felt obligated to call you and tell you. And I said, okay, first and foremost, let's, you're going to be fine. You're going to be great. You're strong.
Yeah.
Kind of talked her through it. But I have help for you. So who can I talk to? And she said, here's my sister's phone number. Can you call her? So I called the sister, and I really quickly explained to her this partnership that we created with Cariloop, and it was a caregiver support platform. And we got her on, and you guys got her on with a nurse advocate. And my client came home, I think, on a Thursday, and there was a caregiver in the house already. There was a meal prep service already. She didn't have to worry about any of that. She came home, and I think the thing that jumped out about this whole experience was that she got on the phone with the nurse advocate to just kind of get updated on what was going on. And the nurse advocate, instead of talking completely about her husband and her caregiving journey, the nurse advocate started talking about her, right? Started asking her questions about her cancer and what she was worried about. And, she shared that. And, the nurse advocate got her one of those caps so that she wouldn't lose her hair during chemotherapy. And when I called to her and finally got to talk to her about the experience, the thing she was most grateful was that through this whole thing, she's going in for cancer and no one's talking about her. No one's thinking about her. They're all thinking about her job, which was taking care of her husband. And all that went into that every day and how they were going to do it. So, for us, the success has been amazing. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're 4 months in, and I want to say we're already coming up on 10% of your clients are already onboarded and actively working with a coach and using the platform. I mean, that's an incredible success story, and still a lot of work to do. And this is the thing about caregiving is there's a lot of people in our lives that we love, and these things pop up when you least expect it, just like you shared with your own story, and certainly with my grandfather. That's why this is so valuable. It's it's going to be right here every step of the way. And it's been really heartwarming to see the early success we've had in the first couple of months we've been working together.
Yeah. So the most interesting thing that we've had here with Cariloop is the questions I get from people around different things that come up, right? So, one of the advisors will call me like, I have this situation where my client's going out of town and
can they do this? Can they do that?
Can Cariloop do this? And I said, I'm like, I don't know, check, go on the platform, check. And what we're finding is the breadth of the things that you guys provide. So maybe you could talk a little about, everyone thinks about caregiving support. When they think about Cariloop, they probably think about, I need a caregiver for my parent. What do I do? But what else do you guys do?
Well, and let's level set there too, because I think this is something we've experienced over the 14 plus years we've been in business. Is early days of Cariloop, everybody, when they heard our story, that's the first place they went was, oh, you mean like when you're taking care of like your parents or your grandparents or your in-laws? It's like, well, yes, that's a huge part of it. But what about you mentioned a few of these, like what about your spouse? What about your children? What about your friends, your neighbors, your siblings, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins? Like there's so many people and so many scenarios. So one of the first things that I always like to make sure I impress upon folks when they learn who we are and what we do is just that we believe that like caregiving is this entire life array. It really matches up well with how you guys think of yourselves as a firm.
Yeah.
It's not just about like caring for the aging population or caring for your children. It's everything. And so we built the platform and we hired all these incredible health, medical, public health, education professionals to be able to work with your clients and families and partner with them on all these various journeys they're going to go through. So maybe just high level, like what it is. Like it's a really elegant, seamless digital platform, caregiver support platform we call it, that allows family caregivers, parents, all these individuals that are going through one of these journeys to come in on board, tell us a bit about what you're going through, and have the platform sort of wrap itself around you and give you all the right tools and resources that you need to go from end to end. But then the beauty of all this is that we pair you up with an actual human being, a professional from our team. These are full-time W-2 employees. They have to have a minimum of, I think our requirement is like 8 years of experience coming from a hospital or home health or long-term care. We pair you up with one of them, and they're going to be completely dedicated to you, and they're going to go on this journey with you, and they're going to help with all those things that you just mentioned. Like can they do these things? Yes. We're going to go do all that stuff for you so that you can actually focus on taking care of your loved one and taking care of you, like without having to decipher all the things that inevitably caregivers go through. Like, we got that.
The breadth of the platforms. We do an all hands call for our whole firm every week. And at the end of the all hands call, we have this segment called Tell Me Something Good. And it gives all the employees the opportunity to share some sort of, something that happened positive, whether it was in the office, with the employees or with a client or whatever. And we're going around the horn, and we get to one of our gals down in Houston, one of our team members, and we say, tell me something good. She's like, I don't know. I used Cariloop to get a dog sitter this weekend.
We'll do that too.
Yeah, so that was her tell me something
I failed
good.
to mention pets. Pets are part of the family too. Like we get a bunch of cases of people taking care of their pets.
We all laughed. We thought that was funny. That was her something. I used Cariloop to get a pet sitter.
It helped her get to work, right? It helped her stay focused on her job.
So it's finding ways to give people their time back, right? That's what this is all about. It's about finding support, finding resources, and getting your time back so that you can, do the things that are important to you and feel like you're checking that box that, yes, I was there for this parent. I was there for my cousin. The other thing I love about Cariloop is you guys have told us very clearly, and it's the only thing that we offer that's this way, because everything that we offer is basically relegated to our clients and their immediate family, right? If we provide a service, then, this is who gets the service. But with Cariloop, your cousin need help.
We don't define family.
Yeah, your friend if you can help someone through this journey, the platform's available to you. I love that. This is just a really feel good solution for us as a firm because, as a business, you do a lot of things as a business. You want to provide services, but you do it with the idea that those services are going to be revenue sources for you. And when you invest in the tax division, when you invest in estate planning, you're doing it because you want to provide a full service, but you're also doing it as a business person to get ROI, right? You're going to get a return on the investment. More people are going to be attracted to your firm if you have these services. And that's certainly the case with Cariloop that, we have had clients choose us specifically because of the caregiving support. But in initiating this with you guys, this was from us, it was purely from the standpoint of helping. We didn't look at this as, well, if we do this, then we can make, it was, how do we help? How do we give people their time back? How do we, our job is really, people hire financial advisors and they think that they're hiring someone to play the stock market. And the reality is that anyone working for a living doesn't have a crystal ball. And we're here to get them consistent, great results But really, we're here to just deliver them a process that helps them make good choices.
Yeah.
And part of those choices extend to your platform and allowing them to have the resources to make sure they get the right care.
It's been a cornerstone philosophy of ours since we founded the company that we were never going to define family for the members that come our way. And I mean, we cut our teeth and got our start over the last decade plus on the employer side. And I know you and I have gone back and forth on just some of the stories that we see and we hear in this space. But Cariloop got its start partnering with small businesses, mid-market companies, large enterprise jumbo employers, and embedding ourselves in their benefits and well-being programs. And this was something that I remember for years, employers, especially their HR and benefits people, really struggled with this concept because they're so used to providing benefits to the employee, their spouse, and their dependents. And here comes, Team Cariloop coming in saying, we're sort of blowing the doors off that. Like, we're not going to define family for your employee. Like, the whole point of this, to your point, John, is like to help your employee be the happiest, healthiest, most productive version of themselves. And if they're spending a bunch of their free time taking care of their neighbor, that's going to prevent them from getting to work, like, why would we not help them with that? And so it's taken years of us like sort of beating the drum on this. And it's amazing to see now, like, how when we go in and share this story, almost like employers now expect it. And so we've wanted to carry that exact sort of philosophy into the wealth management space and partnering with great firms like you guys. It's like your clients are going to go through these things with all sorts of people in their lives and themselves. Like, back to the story you shared, I can't ever imagine you calling us up and saying, like, this is a situation that we're dealing with. Can you help? And us saying no. Like, that is just so against what we were founded to do.
No, we found that on the onboarding process because, unfortunately, it wasn't just one case. Like, I kept coming back to Ashley, our team member who was working directly with Cariloop, and saying to her, I got another case. Can you push it through? And it got to the point where she's like, we don't even have a deal done yet.
You thought that there was going to be, I remember the comment in the conference room, you thought, like, we're going to roll this out. Oh, maybe we'll get a couple of phone calls throughout the year. Like, and I think, 4 months, 50 some, 100 some cases now, whatever it is. And it's a very real thing. It's going on.
No, I can imagine wealth management's a great vertical for you guys to get into. And we've done a lot of, we've really leaned into it with your team to build collateral and try to get the message out. And it was great. I was doing some work with one of your team members, and she says to me, John, can you help me with the messaging around Cariloop recruiting other wealth management firms? I said, no, I'm not going to help with that.
That's kept secret. That's not sharing it.
That's my ace in the hole, When people meet with wealth management firms, the reality is that if they're meeting with good wealth management firms, and we're all structured differently, and we're all, we all have different conflicts of interest, but, there's a lot of mega-backed PE firms, there's the wirehouses, and I've worked in those environments, and when I'm in those environments, I always felt like I was in the middle. I had the team over here that were looking at my numbers as a business, and I had the clients, and I was trying to keep everyone happy. But, here at Quotient, our only boss right now is the client, which is great. But, when people are meeting with financial planning firms, the reality is that 90% of what they hear is going to sound very similar. 95%, because there's a right way and a wrong way to do this. And whether you're at a big wirehouse or a big PE-backed firm, good advisors are going to offer great services. And ultimately, it's the little things. It's that 5 to 10% of things that we can bring to the table, that we can offer, that they're not hearing from anyone else. And Cariloop is one of my little carrots that we offer, that we have a fully integrated caregiver support platform. And, I know that, the natural progression of your business is wealth management is an amazing vertical because this is where people are thinking about those things.
Just to go back to it, like, we started the company to help as many caregivers as we possibly could. And that's what we're focused on. And we want to work with great employers and great wealth managers and great partners like you guys. And I don't imagine we'll get to 100% of the market in both verticals, but we're certainly going to do everything we can to try, because that means we're going to get to reach a lot of people and help.
I can't imagine you guys aren't going to have great success in our space, because the reality is that, most advisors genuinely care about their clients and they want to help people. And, I think that in the independent space, where you get to make your own choices and you're not answering to a corporate boss, I think there are going to be other teams like ours who make this choice that, hey, this is what we're seeing our clients go through. We're in the business of really, we're in the business of making or helping people make their vision come to reality, right? People, the job that I do is really, I know how important it is because, this is everything that people have worked for their entire lives.
Yeah.
And it's every time they said...
Tremendous responsibility.
Yeah, every time they said no to their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they made their wife fly coach instead of first class. All these financial decisions, right, were designed to build this nest egg, right? Now you're entrusting us this nest egg with this vision. And, we have to empower you to fulfill that because it's really hard to go from a spender or from a saver to a spender. That's a difficult transition to make. And, Cariloop is just another box that we could check to alleviate some of that time, to answer the question, who's going to take care of me? Because no one ever answers that question. We always answer the financial question, how much is it going to cost?
Yeah.
But who's going to do it? Who's going to take care of me? Who's going to help me? And this was, for us, like I said, I sound like a broken record, but this was a really feel-good thing for our firm, and all our advisors really embraced it. And we're, I'm always humble enough to admit when I'm wrong. And I negotiated with this guy on the numbers and who we should be covering, and I was wrong because the take rate has been from people that I never thought would even, our younger clients are jumping on the platform. It's like, I never thought about my clients. We do a lot of work to reach that next generation, right? So we are really engaging our client. I've been doing this now for almost 30 years. So my clients' children, I've watched them grow up in front of my eyes, and now they're thinking about retirement, and they're having children. And, a lot of the calls we've been getting have been for babysitting. Hey, can you help me with my kid? I'm driving 4 hours every time they need a babysitter because I'm coming from the hill country back to Houston. Help me. Can they go on Cariloop and get help? And I'm like, absolutely, get them on there. It's been it's been amazing.
We've touched on some of the financial challenges that families and caregivers go through, but just the simple state of affairs for families and caregivers in America is it's really difficult to do some of the basics, even like find a pet sitter or a babysitter. Yeah. Here in Dallas, Texas, we're surrounded with, in almost every corner, some type of private pay, memory care community, assisted living facility, retirement community, independent living community. We have tens of thousands of non-medical home care agencies, home health agencies, hospice agencies. And that's here in an urban area. So plenty of supply. So caregivers, you're paralyzed by this. How do I navigate all this? You go out to rural Texas, you could drive literally an hour from here where there is none of that. And you've got that same problem in reverse now, where you've got a parent or a caregiver going, there's nobody around. I got to drive 5 hours away to find something that works. This is not easy.
Yeah.
So the money is a huge part of it, and it makes total sense why, folks are calling you guys for help on that piece of it. But underneath the surface of all that, it's just how do I do this?
Yeah, it's equally debilitating. I grew up in North Jersey in a very concentrated area, and just like here, there's I put an ad out. I went to Care Now, and I got 1,000. I'm not kidding, 1,000 resumes, and I'm going through I'm like, this is insane. How am I supposed to pick? I'm leaving. I'm going back to Texas. I need this person to be in my home. I need them to be taking care of my parents. I need them to, you need to be able to.
You're essentially going to run a business too.
Yeah.
You're going to hire them. You got to pay them. You gotta make sure they're insured and bonded and all these things. You got to handle taxes.
We were just we have got to be able to provide some resources. There's this clients going into retirement. We're defeating the purpose almost by not addressing something that can completely change their vision. We have to address it. And, few things you do work exactly the way you envision them. There's usually some sort of wrench, something that happens that you didn't see coming. And this has been so great because it worked exactly the way we hoped. It really has. It's been clockwork.
We've got a long way to go, lots of families to help, lots of tough lessons to learn. I appreciate even all the early positive, but also the constructive feedback and how we can do this better, and how do we partner with great firms like yours to really show up incredibly well for your clients. So really proud of what we're getting to do and the role we get to play and all these different families' journeys. And still lots of work to do though.
Yeah, it's been great. And look, we really appreciate you coming in and talking about this. It's been a lot of fun. The relationship has been a blast. I think just getting to know you personally has been great for me, but I think on a personal level, it's been great getting to know you, and I'm looking forward to continuing.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on, and really excited to listen to all the future episodes that you record. And yeah, just to the group listening, just make sure you rely on John and team here. They're doing an amazing job. And if you want to learn a little bit more about like what we do and how we partner with Quotient, be sure to hit these guys up. Like, it's really cool to see the partnership really blossoming.
Yeah. So your website, what's your website address?
Cariloop.com, Cariloop.com. I'm sure we'll, on the episode page, maybe throw up a QR code or something. But yeah, check us out. And again, we do a lot of great work individually. We do a lot of great work with companies and corporations, and really starting to get a lot of traction working with great firms like Quotient.
Absolutely. And same here. Look, if you're interested in getting broader financial planning, if you're interested in working with a team that is trying to attempt to check every box, please reach out to Quotient Wealth and schedule some time with one of our team members, and we think you're going to have a great experience. So, hey, thanks for coming in. It was great.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate it, man.